Donald Trump's former Republican rivals have lined up to heap praise on the US presidential hopeful at the second day of their convention in Milwaukee. Among them, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, who used her speech to endorse Trump's White House comeback, even calling on Americans who disagree with him on certain issues to vote for Trump.
Another night of jubilation in Milwaukee. Supporters cheer as Donald Trump appears with his running mate, J.D. Vance. But they're not the only stars of the evening. Trump's former rivals are also in the spotlight. Just months ago, they were attacking him on campaign trail. But tonight, they're here in a show of support.
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN and South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley was the last candidate to pull out from the race. She then called Trump unelectable and unfit for office, but changed her mind in May, saying she would vote for him.
If we have 4 more years of Biden or a single day of Harris, our country will be badly worse off. For the sake of our nation, we have to go with Donald Trump.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was seen as one of Trump's strongest challengers before he dropped. Often attacking the former president, he also offered his full support.
My fellow Republicans, let's send Joe Biden back to his basement and let's send Donald Trump back to the White House.
As endorsements continued to flow from stage, the convention's second day intended to show the Republican Party's unity behind Donald Trump and draw a contrast with the Democratic Party, racked by doubts about their choice.
And let's bring in attorney and political commentator Ethan Bearman in Los Angeles. Just how much Republican unity would you say there is?
Well, I think for those who still continue to be part of the Republican Party, they're part of the Trump Party now, and they have definitely pulled together under Donald Trump. He has made sure that anybody who speaks against him gets cast out from the party, and that's why there are many former Republicans who are busy fighting against his reelection, including his own Vice President Mike Pence, who has announced that he will not vote for Donald Trump.
Tell me, observers at the convention describe Trump as different than usual. What are they getting at, do you think?
I think that there is definitely a push to try and rehabilitate Donald Trump before the election. He has, of course, not followed through with the few words of unity that he talked about after the attempt on his life. But the rhetoric that has come out of the convention has been one that is highly divisive. Congressional leaders and senators have made horrific comments about Democrats and said that there really is no unity outside of the Republican Party.
At a time that American unity is so important, where do you think the Trump campaign will go from here then?
Well, I think that they'll continue to pound on the handful of messages that they are all in full agreement on. They're going to attack about the border, of which, of course, Donald Trump sent the message out not to support what was a bipartisan border reform bill that President Biden passed through on executive order. But they're going to focus on the border. They're going to focus on the idea of oil as being the primary energy source through the 21st century. And the idea that immigration is bad for America is what they proclaim. And we'll see how badly that affects inflation should they be successful.
And what are you hearing from Republicans and Democrats about J.D. Vance as Trump's chosen running mate?
Well, that's actually interesting. That was the one area where there wasn't unity really heading into this convention. There were a lot of people that wanted to see Marco Rubio, the governor of North Dakota, were top choices as well for his VP pick. There were people, specifically, there are reports of billionaire donor class types who asked that J.D. Vance not be his VP pick. But now that he's his pick, everybody is going to circle around that. The Democrats are quite excited about J.D. Vance because he has been highly vocal in the past. And I can't even, I believe on DW, use the words that J.D. Vance used previously to describe Donald Trump when he was an anti-Trumper. And furthermore, he is very much against things like divorce. Should a woman or a man choose to leave the family? He's not in support of that, yet he's the running mate of a person who's on his third marriage. So the Democrats see a lot of opportunity to attack J.D. Vance. But it's going to be very interesting. The country is very much divided, and we'll see because particularly topics like Europe, NATO, and Ukraine are the subjects that J.D. Vance is a classic 1930s isolationist that harkens back to that era that I think didn't turn out very well for Europe or the United States or the rest of the world.
No, not at all. Very interesting stuff. Ethan Bearman, thank you very much for chiming in.
Thanks, Ben.